showed up just to say, crap, I can't watch the stream.
But is seemingly very nicely. Oh wait, no, never mind. Medic left.
Yeah, no, probably
Medic left
close
the
the
chat.
window.
Huh?
Probably close the window.
Probably. But it says Heck is back.
Is it not full screen?
Huh?
In Twitch?
What do you mean?
There's purple siding on Twitch.
You just noticed that?
Yes.
It's been that way since we started this game. This game is a non-standard, like, window size. So there's always been the purple strips on the side.
Huh.
And if I click to one of the other screens, that's our... Oh my god. Here's the layout. And here's me. Which literally just has the game window over top of it.
I just didn't...
Yeah, this game has been like this since we started. It's been like a
I
while.
pay attention.
Huh?
I
It's a you
pay
problem.
attention.
It's not a me problem. You should pay attention better then.
You know that I figure things out like 12 years late.
Anyway, hi Heck!
Hi.
Welcome back to Trauma Central, apparently.
No, I think that's a
10%
different game.
unlocked.
Trauma Centers, I
100%.
believe, a different game.
Oop.
Oh, hey, could we just talk a little more instead? There's something really important I need to tell you.
She won't let us access the log documents, so I guess the answer is yes. Yes, we can just talk to her, I guess.
Right, we're 10% in! Will you please take me with you? Just as a, what's the word? I can't think of it. What's the word for a good friend except female?
A good
I'm
friend?
drawing a blank here.
A friend.
What's the name of a good friend?
But
Except they're
female. A friend?
A friend?
A friend.
I think I had a lot of those. Good friends who were female.
Called friends?
Exactly.
Yep.
But then people looked at us, and especially my grandmother, and said, kind of that I was a playboy. You know, the same grandmother that said that I was going to get killed in the big bad city. Well, whatever it is. I just mean like that. Can you just take me with you as a passenger?
Sorry, I'm still laughing at the idea of you as a playboy.
Why are you laughing?
Because it's a funny image.
As a shark, as a playboy?
Yes.
What did the shark ever do to you? Laugh at it.
Huh?
What did the shark ever do to you?
What did you ever do to me?
Well, are we gonna take her with us?
It's up to you.
It was said he could get all the females.
The females. Because that's how you refer to women and girls. The females.
Instead, I only dated one of them. Right?
What a playboy.
Yeah.
All the females.
And I already told that story.
Yeah. Wait, what's that? What's that? You're totally dating your best friend, right? The one who throws shoes at you.
Okay, she's not done that in a very long time.
Yeah, but that was one of the first stories you told me about her, so.
And she always misses. So, she wasn't that good aim. Anyway. Are we gonna take her with us?
I told you, I'm waiting on your answer. It's up to you.
Do we take... See, will answering I'll take you stop it now?
No, in the same way that the thing with mute didn't stop it. We could still show her things. It's just, this is... Will she come with us at the end or not?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope I don't sound ungrateful. It's the best thing anyone's ever done for me. Thank you so much. Very well. I'll decompile myself now. That way you can just drop to the terminal and type download to copy everything to your ship, including myself.
Never mind, I guess that's the end. Also, I'll just decompile myself now. Okay.
It should only take a few days to do a complete transfer. I'll see you soon, alright?
Leaves.
And really, thank you. Okay, now you're gonna enable mute.
You know what? We never had to do all the power stuff, so...
So enable mute.
Ooh, she's gone.
What? One of these times we should put them in the same core.
Hmm?
So the only times we should put them in the same core. I'm guessing because we said I'll take you, Peach is now like, screw you?
Maybe Hyune is decompiling her too, but not to be taken with.
Oh.
She just had to get one last murder in, you know?
Well, I guess hit download. 18 minutes in and we already beat the game.
I'm also like, oh, hey, look, life support, off.
Yeah.
It's been there.
Why are you disabling everything?
There's no reason to waste power.
We're leaving.
And?
Save power when we're leaving?
Well, I mean, technically no, but it's like turning off the lights when you leave. You should just do it.
We're not even in the ship!
Yeah? Just like you have to turn off the lights when you leave a room. You're not in the room anymore, so you turn off all the lights.
But we never entered the ship.
So?
We just stared through the window of the ship.
Come to think of it, I want to do something dumb.
What?
Hmm? What?
I saw that pop up.
Well, it didn't pop up on Twitch, and you shouldn't talk about my private messages. It's rude, you know?
I didn't say anything. What do you... Well, it said it was gonna shut off our thing.
I know. I'm just curious what happens. Why do you think I just saved?
I didn't see you saved. It's not like we were going that far back. I'm gonna decompile myself. Turn
Okay,
off
bye.
main computer.
I have to do these things. They're fun. They're funny.
So you just left her stranded and decompiled?
Well, that's why we have to save energy on the ship. Besides,
What did you say?
I said that's why we have to save energy on the ship for the next person who finds her. Just kidding, no one else can connect either. Hey!
What if you turn off the main computer? Then nobody's gonna find her.
Well, they could come in and... Oh?
Ooh.
Big decision!
Decision? Yeah, now that could be a lot of things. That could be you bought a house or a car. Okay, what did you miss? Well, what did I miss in life? That's a good question.
So far, Medic, you have missed me doing really stupid things like disabling the main computer control, disabling the communications line.
Basically,
Oh, and this girl wants to come with us on our ship. But as a what's the term for a good friend but female? And you've missed us cracking a lot of jokes about, well, the word for a good friend but female is friend.
What else? Mass murder happened last time.
Shh, that was last time.
Oh, wow. That is a big decision.
Whoa!
Congrats?
That
Or
is
not
big.
congrats, depending?
Wait, like East Coast Washington, like DC, or like West
No,
Coast
I'm
Washington?
I'm
Washington.
assuming states.
I mean, maybe.
I'm assuming states. Hey, type it download while we're rating.
Okay, I typed it.
And hit enter.
Enter.
I said hit enter, not type enter.
I hit the letters for enter. Ooh, Seattle, nice.
For a job?
What if I just said no?
But probably won't download.
We'll just leave without her.
Oh my gosh. But this stream, Medic, you didn't miss anything really. A lot of stuff happened, but we're basically probably going to be restarting it again.
Yeah, we will be.
Once we say yes, we're done. This route.
So you want to leave the sunshine and go to clouds and rain. Got it.
I would do the exact same thing.
Cali's pretty expensive, to be fair. I think Seattle's also decently expensive,
yeah,
but of course it's not nearly as bad as California.
But if you're living outside of Seattle, I assume it's not going to be, might not be as bad? Because Heck said near Seattle, so I assume not in Seattle.
Yes. Near Seattle means that someday, maybe, you could afford a house. that dream. Well, like...
not in this economy!
One of my coworkers moved to Seattle a while back and then was trying to convince her friends to move there. Like, well, in this area, you could maybe even own a house someday. She got a lot of her friends to move over there. Is that with that, apparently?
Say yes and hit the enter button.
Yes?
That's not the letters Y-E-S.
Oh. I wonder what happens if I just type nonsense. Oh, it just doesn't do the thing. It's only a matter of time. Seattle goes chomp, chomp, chomp. Ow, ow. Wow. There she is.
On screen.
Huh?
There's a murderer on screen.
There is a murderer on screen.
Where's their ring of fire? I thought that was the stealth. It's attack.
Like,
oh, no.
Where's Death Valley again? Was that SoCal? I always
heck
forget.
if I know.
Okay, now what?
We hit the new button.
Okay, okay. Oh, what was the one we wanted to show her?
Be more specific there. What is the one we wanted to show her?
Yeah.
What?
Last time we ended, and then I think Malik said we could show Mute something, but I forget what.
Probably the last one we saw.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Well, I just saved. So what's the ID for that one again? We'll have to go back into our last game. Well, what do you want to do? I guess we want to enable AI.
You know what block it was in? Did you know what block it was in?
Oh, wait, what block?
Yeah.
Are you suggesting I go into my archives?
I was just saying, do you remember what block it was in?
Nope. 9?
No, it was
7? 7.
7. I think it was the last one at 7. No, it wasn't the last one at 7. No, we need to be SEO'd. We have to talk. We have to enable to get SEO access.
Whoops, I skipped everything.
Oh no.
Oh! Wait, as soon as I... As soon as we got through that intro, we can already go enable mute.
Speedrun shit. Yeah, we've played. We've gotten.
Can we beat like 30 minutes? Well, no, we took longer than 30 minutes last time because we were reading all of that other stuff.
You copy core 2 to core 1?
But I mean...
No! No!
Medic said speedrun.
We're not speedrunning this because the speedrun is 5 seconds.
What?
You get to the terminal and then you hit down. Oh my gosh!
Oh, come on. I know what the skip button is.
Oh my gosh. Literally, the speedrun is 1 minute. Wait. Gosh dang it, you.
Speedrun.
Yeah, when you type in download and say yes, the game is over. So basically, the idea is
Okay, so basically, you're supposed to be coming here to grab logs to figure out what the hell happened to this ship because it's been missing for like almost 700 years. And so that's it. That's your mission. And when you download, it just grabs the things and you go. You disconnect, you download whatever, and you peace the fuck out. And because we've played this technically 2 times through now, the admin password is her name. And yeah. So as soon as you have the admin password, you can go ahead and...
password for download? Because download was an option at the beginning, I thought.
Huh?
I thought download was an option from the beginning.
No, because you need admin access.
Okay.
The thing is that you need admin access. You can't get admin access until you talk to her. But apparently, just because I was trying to do something dumb, I just tried admin access again immediately after talking to her. Apparently, she had already re-enabled it. So, yeah. Sorry, Hyune. I said you could say one thing before we got to work, but then I skipped it. We're usually on for like roughly 2 hours, so that should be enough time, hopefully.
I'm technically only at like the half an hour mark, so...
Yeah. And part of that was us talking before we started.
Like 10 minutes of it, yeah. So we'll be on for a while.
We'll probably still be on. Good luck with groceries. Good luck out in the world. The scary outside.
But Medic, if you don't download, you get to figure out what happens. And what happens is craziness.
Yes.
Scary.
See you later, Heck.
Bye.
Yes. The actual thing is that you're supposed to, like, talk with this AI, and she gives you access to some of the logs, and you read through the logs, and then you show her some of the things from the logs to, like, get more logs relating to that. And then, yeah, so you piece together the story that way before you download all the logs. Like, if you do the
search for 6-E, you Y22. Like we did last time.
Where we also broke the game.
Where we literally broke the game. And
we slightly cheat coded it. Not really a cheat code. It was just all of the documents have these IDs, and the search says enter a document ID and press enter to search for it. And then it'll automatically bring up that document. And so, yeah, we typed one in and succeeded. And
then we showed it to the AI, and it
was the one about where she kills everybody on the ship. Literally murders them.
It was interesting. It was interesting.
And she gave us her whole side of the story, and that was it.
And then we started up today, and she was like, hey, can I go with you? Cool, bye.
She's like, before you look at anything else, can I talk to you? And I was like, okay, I mean, sure, I guess we can look at the stuff later. And then she was like, okay, great, I'm gonna come with you. Okay, I'll decompound myself right now and close the terminal, and we can go. And I'm like, that's not, wait, but I wanted to keep reading. Wait, what? Fine. Okay, so we absolutely cannot show her that one, because she eats it.
Well, we can also bring that up later. Because remember, we did do that.
Yes, we did that one, and then... Well, which one should I do?
What document you should look at?
Mm-hmm. Alright, medic, pick a number.
Decrypt box. Decrypt.
Wait. Ooh.
A pack of idiots. A pack of idiots is a number.
Yep. Should we read them out loud again since Medic wasn't here before?
It's up to you. You can do it if you want. Said you can do it if you want.
I will skim read it. When our family falls into decline, I just want it to be perfectly clear why. It's because Daehyun's sons are the biggest collection of idiots on the entire ship. Father says these sorts of words shouldn't be written down, but I'm skeptical. My dead uncle is no ancestor of mine, and his family deserves no respect. The turning point was this year. At the time I write this, I am returning from Sangjung's funeral. In that family, there were 3 brothers, Sangjung the drunk, Sangkyu the dim-witted brute, and Sangmin, who despite being the eldest, seems to have more interest in cavorting with courtesans than creating an heir. Noticeably absent from the morning proceedings was Sangkyu. What he was doing, I do not know. Knowing him, I can only guess. The affair was made even more laughable by Sangmin and his widowed mother's insistence that Sangjung had died of natural causes. An unmarried noble managing to drink his way into the grave at only 30 years of age would be embarrassing enough. To brazenly try to hide the obvious, however, that will mark the beginning of the Smiths family's fall.
Did we hear anything about Sangkyu? Have we heard much about Sangkyu?
feel like we heard a little bit.
Because we know about the eldest, as we've heard that scandal.
Yeah.
We've heard about the youngest because
He's drunk, and Mute was in love with him.
But I don't.
Sankyu, I think we heard a little bit about, but I forget what he did. I don't know.
I feel I know more about the eldest and youngest than the middle child.
Sounds about right for a middle child.
My parents love the middle child the most.
Your parents are also weird.
There.
Should I click the bubble? Should I show her the message? Should I ignore her completely?
Do you want her to fall in love with you, or do you want her to not fall in love with you?
I don't know. What do you want? The ending I'm missing is Mute, actually, so...
So let's talk to you.
Should I just turn her off? Should I just piece the fuck out from here? Technically, without... Well, it's a little bit cheating because I know the admin password.
No child, best child? Depends on the family.
I'm the second of two, so there is no middle child.
I am young child.
Sankyu did nothing wrong.
Well, I can't say no to that because I don't know.
I'm trying to remember, because was Sungmin the High Magistrate?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he's the one who...
But I thought Sungkyu also had a high-ranking position or something. I forgot. I don't know. Do we want to acknowledge her message thingy?
Ignore. Ignore.
Okay.
Just like I do with people.
Wow, rude.
Okay, but am I wrong?
You are wrong. You always respond to me.
Wait, did I tell you? Somebody was joking around with me at work, and they're like, "Oh, you have no feelings," and I just looked at them like, "Wow, the robot trope. Haven't heard that one in a while."
Okay.
I'm a robot.
You're not a robot, but okay.
Ooh. I'm a robot.
A robot?
No, I'm a robot.
Oh, good, because if you were a robot, you'd be in my town in Animal Crossing, and that'd be a little awkward.
I am a robot. I will shut down now.
No. So, what to do? Should I show her the message? Should I leave? Should I go talk directly to Mute now?
I say you decrypt blocks 3 and 7.
Isn't it 5 and 7?
I thought it was 3 and 7.
I think it was 5 and 7.
You have the admin.
Should I do the thing where I just like hack things because I know the
Hack into the
password?
matrix. The Zoidberg pronunciation of robot. I watched a season and a half of Futurama, so I wouldn't know.
That's more than me.
A lot of people like, you'll find it funny, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll give it a try. And they're like, the first season's not that funny. Just like watch it so you have context. The second one's funnier. So I'm like, okay, I'll give it a fair shake. It wasn't funny to me.
Sounds about right.
I'm not going to say people are wrong for finding it funny. It just wasn't funny for me.
I guess it was 3.
I just don't remember if it was 7.
We did
The
it.
goldfish remembers.
Congratulations.
I have power.
But that doesn't do anything. She hasn't actually offered to show it to us. It just means it won't be a barrier later.
No, we should be able to see it.
No, because after we decrypted it, then she gave us the logs from 7.
Well, we could probably cheat it more by typing the IDs in to see them now.
Okay, do you remember the Block 7 IDs? Also, do you really want to break the game again?
Isn't that where the fun is?
I mean, kind of, but...
Okay, Medic. Vote yes or no. Should we break the game?
Oh, I was gonna just quit and turn on mute now.
Well, yes. But you can break the game with mute.
You can.
Medic says we should break the game.
Now breaking. Boop, 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 boop.
Wow.
Mute. Awake for the first time in 622 years. What the hell is going on? Okay, it looks like I can't actually get any text input from you. I'm guessing this is all that crazy-ass murderess's fault. I'm sorry. Why don't you tell me a bit about yourself anyway? Are you a boy or a girl?
Let me see. Are you a boy or a girl? This is my grandson. What's his name again?
Are you a man or a woman?
Butt-face.
We have a boy and a girl. The answer, Mute, is yes.
Ah!
Or the answer is no, we reject the gender binary.
Oh! Okay, can you hear me?
What's that?
Okay.
They did.
They did gender the word murderer.
By the way, Mute is super sexist. And also kind of homophobic. Because she was programmed in an extremely bigoted society.
Well, murderess is a word, isn't it?
It is. It's just not generally used because you just call them a murderer.
That is fair.
Like we were calling her a murderer, not a murderess.
Well, you murdered them by turning off all the power and then piecing out.
Huh?
Now tell me, are you a boy or a girl?
I didn't turn off Core 1.
Are we a boy or a girl?
What happens if I disable Core 1 and 2 at the beginning?
They both die! Do you want to be a murderer or a murderess, technically, yourself?
Maybe?
Just say if you're a man or a woman.
Well, last time we said woman, so I guess maybe this time we can say man.
We didn't hear these last time.
No, we did. I mean, that's a slightly different line, but everything else is the same. Our colonies, right?
I think... Did we say no last time?
I think so.
Let's say yes!
Oh, okay. So are you from one of them, or from Earth?
I think we said Earth last time.
Well, I mean, we said there were no colonies, so...
Well, let's say we're from a colony.
Cool. I wish I could ask you what that's like. Like, my hunter memory only goes back 300 years before getting deactivated, so I'm not really up to date. So, are you married yet? Last time we said no.
Part of me still wants to say no.
Oh, I'm very happy to also say no. I'm just saying last time we said no.
Should we go for pure opposites?
Maybe, I guess.
Will she like us if we say no? Or say yes?
Maybe, I don't know.
Follow your gut.
Let's do the opposite. Ah, fair enough. Related to that, I don't really know much about spaceships or anything, but I can get a visual on yours, and it looks really, really small. Is it just you all alone there?
We said no last time.
A man in the middle of space all on his own. Sounds awfully romantic.
Mute, are you hitting on us?
Well, I think that's about all I can think of for now.
Are we getting hit on by an AI?
Less than one Hyune was trying to hit on us. What if we show her this from the beginning this time?
We'll probably get it similar.
Perfect wife, huh? Wow. Can't believe I actually said that about her. No, I know. That's not why you're showing me that, is it? You want to hear about the Smith family, I'm sure. Oh, you're gonna love this. Those people had problems like you would not believe.
Oh, I would believe it.
Technically, I belong to the Root family, but well, I spent a lot of time keeping up with the Smith family's gossip. They used to be the most important noble house, above even the Kims, you know?
We did do both last time,
We did do both last time.
so it doesn't matter.
Let's skip her homophobia for now.
I say we break the game.
What do you mean?
By picking out an ID. Such good character design wasted on Mute's homophobia.
Yeah. Well, she's designed to basically fit into the society that she was created in. And that society was extremely bigoted. Don't worry, she's not just homophobic, she's also extremely sexist. She's more sexist than she is homophobic, in fact.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, but you saw her sexism before.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's really bad.
Why? Edit wants us to break the game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. But that society also has cool clothes. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Could you see yourself wearing that, medic? Excuse me. Ooh.
Male superiority, that's all. Fine, it's a cliche that kind of states the obvious. So what? Here's her sexism! We found it!
No.
It's okay, you shouldn't culturally appropriate anyway. Okay, so what is it that you want to know about? Why don't you show me something and I'll see what I can find for you, okay?
Hmm?
Hmm?
What are you looking?
Oh, I'm finally checking that message I got earlier that you, like, saw the sneak preview of.
I don't even know what it's really said. All I saw was a message pop up. I'm like,
Mm-hmm. So, what should I show her now?
something from Block 7.
From Block 7?
Yes.
Such as?
7 dash. No! God! Nerd. Nerd. 7 dash, I don't remember this one. TGO.
Huh?
7 dash TGO.
GGO?
T as in Tom, G as in George. And I think it's 0.
Tigo.
Oh. I picked a random one.
The sister-in-law. Dearest mother, my mother-in-law has relieved me of any responsibility for looking after the pale bride. As a matter of pride, I feel bad that a simple child is too much for me to handle, but I'm certainly glad she's not my problem anymore. Now I can put my undivided attention back where it belongs, onto my husband and his ambitions. Tell me though, mother, because I know we didn't always get along that well. I was never that bad, was I? Sure, we were both happy when I moved out. Well, perhaps I wasn't happy right away. I was more scared, but I'm sure you were relieved to have some space. But you would have never given up on me, right? I was never that bad, was I? Hey, look, I'm sorry, but I'm not really sure I get why you're showing me this. As far as I can tell, it's not relevant to anything. If you could just explain it in words, it'd be fine, but, well, sorry. I don't really have anything to go off. Maybe you could try showing me something similar and see if I can make the connection? Otherwise, I'm afraid I've got nothing. Well? Oh, you know what we should do?
Copy Q&A over?
No. He's gonna yell at me. Yeah. Guess not. I guess I don't have to disable it in between. That's weird.
What happens if both are active?
Then I guess it just grabs whichever one's the most recent. Okay. I'm gonna save here for a sec. And then... I'm gonna need you to note down these IDs, okay? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So it looks like it's 12 AA 1 through 9.
Yeah. Let's see if we can even access that.
So it's 12 AA.
Let's do 07.
What was 07? Oh.
Show it. What is this? You talk to Mute? I don't know what she told you, but you really shouldn't listen to her. All she ever did was gossip. I'm certain she hasn't changed a bit since back then. She's an AI and all. Please, don't trust her. She just spins everything to make everyone look bad, no matter what. Please, promise.
Lol, no.
I guess she told you all about who I really am. I wasn't trying to lie. I would have explained eventually. Oh, fine. Be as bad as her, for all I care. It's not like I care about your opinion or anything. Go on. Show me one of her awful questions.
I just did.
Right. Well, remember when I said that I'd never interrupt you unless there was something really, really wrong?
Nope, because we didn't talk to you.
Because that's annoying, and I don't want to bother you, but... Look, I don't want to scare you here, but this isn't your fault. But we have a really big problem. I'm sure you noticed that static on the line, yes? I was wondering what was causing that, so I checked, and it's... Well... Look, don't panic here, please. But it's, well... a reactor meltdown in progress. I'm really sorry. We've been running in low power mode for so long, and that was fine, but when you established communications, everything started back up again, so it's all your fault. Which should have been fine, except it's been centuries since the last maintenance job was done, since I murdered everybody, and I'm not really sure what's wrong yet.
I love the fucked up music here.
Are we gonna blow it up?
I don't know, should we?
I mean, there's a save.
There is a save. It
Let's
just
blow it
involves
up.
us like sitting here for 20 minutes.
We can talk.
We can. We can catch up with Medic.
Going to lie to you. This is bad. This is really, really bad. I don't know if you're really aware of how this works, but we're running on nuclear fission. And,
Boom time!
boom time!
I think that's a vote for Medic for let the shit shut down.
And, it looks like we've got about 20 minutes before total meltdown. It's already running really, really hot right now. I wish I'd noticed sooner. I'm so sorry. But, well, let me put it this way. The ship is about 20 minutes away from exploding. Could you make it out of range within 20 minutes? Maybe not.
Maybe not.
I don't really know much about nuclear reactors, but yeah, that's what I expected. Don't panic, though. I can walk you through shutting it down. Just stay calm. Everything will be fine. What I'll need you to do is drop to the terminal and disable the nuclear reactor.
I like that in this universe, a nuclear reactor running really hot means that the AI and everything can still function perfectly fine. It's just staticky.
Yeah. Just a little static.
Not like when you were playing Spyro and everything kept blue screening. No. Just some static. It's not that bad.
If everything's working properly, it should be that simple. I mean, I'm sure it won't be. This is a really old ship, and clearly already one thing has gone horribly wrong. Anyway, your first step is to at least try. Okay, so how you doing, Medic?
We got 18 minutes to kill.
So who are we murdering first?
Actually, let me just save here.
Okay. What? Oh, no. Never mind. Nothing.
18 minutes should be more than enough for us to just pop back in and, like,
Oh, yeah.
do the things
Oh,
real quick.
yeah.
So I figure if we have a save here, we can come back and save it and pick up where we left off.
So how have you been? It's been a while since we've seen you, Medic.
Yeah, welcome back.
Tell us what's been happening lately, other than probably quarantine.
Ooh, a garden!
A garden? That's
What are you growing in the garden?
That was gonna be my question. You stole my question. How dare
Well, you better ask faster.
So weird.
Yes, I am. What's your point?
Alright. Are you so rude?
Oh yeah, on Friday, by the way. We could start earlier if you want, because I just got the day off. Blueberries and cherries! Yum!
Wait, you're off on Friday?
Yeah, our VP sent out an announcement that everyone's getting a free PTO day.
Okay.
Yeah!
I'm off on Monday.
I mean, I'm also off Monday. The reason they gave us Friday is to give us an extra extended weekend.
That's nice of them.
Yeah, for once.
Blueberries and cherries.
No, I have cherries in the fridge. Maybe I should eat some cherries.
Even if you want?
Cherries are great, and you are wrong about them. And blueberries are delicious, and you're wrong about those too.
I wasn't gonna mention that!
Uh-huh. But I know how you feel about them.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with anything?
I'm just informing you that you're wrong.
What made you want to set up a garden?
Hmm?
I'm talking to Medic.
Okay. I see I'm not welcome on this stream, so I'll just leave the stream going and walk away, I guess.
You're probably more welcome than I am.
Hmm?
So you're more welcome than I am.
Why? How?
Why not?
Cherries and blueberries are great. Yes, they are. They're delicious.
I wasn't gonna talk about that.
Okay, but it's true. I didn't say anything that wasn't true.
Look, also remember I have a terrible sense of taste.
I know.
I'm also constantly told that I am wrong. Nobody's on my stream now. Well, just hop on the call and then you can go for it.
I'm like, okay, here you go. Have fun.
Just hop on the call real quick.
Hmm? Yep. Exactly. I do feel like it would be potentially fun if we set up a Discord and everyone could just join us. Well, I'm not sure how many other people want their voices on the stream.
What?
Well, I'm not sure how many other people want their voices on the stream. I don't want my voice on the stream for that matter. It's terrible.
Yeah, well, too bad.
Says the other person whose voice is on the stream.
I sound super high-pitched and disgusting. The fact that I got told I was a ma'am still makes me go, is my voice that high-pitched that somebody hears and thinks?
I mean, because people have their, like, quote-unquote customer service voice.
Yes, and my voice gets a bit higher during my customer service voice.
Oh, you have a brother.
My brother's sleeping in San Francisco. Well, darn. Well, I guess you can't take over the stream then. Try again another night.
Cats are sleeping in this with me. But, they don't seem bothered by the fact that I keep talking loudly. And now Twitch Studio is telling me that I'm dropping a lot of frames. See, someone else could totally take over the stream.
Nah.
Nah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What, you're a cat now?
No! How would I be a cat?
You said yeah. That's very close to nya.
No! I'm not a cat.
But I thought you were Avery.
I'm not Avery!
You're not?
We stopped voicing Avery months ago.
Hmm?
I stopped voicing Avery months ago.
So we should go back. Is what you're saying.
No, we did everything!
But we can do it again.
No! Why
If
would
only.
we reprise Hustle Cat?
Huh?
Why would we reprise Hustle Cat?
Because it was fun.
But there's a lot of other games to play.
You're right. But I mean, really, between playing Hustle Cat over again and going back to Oz Mafia, what's your preference? Honestly.
Not nameless.
Hmm?
Not nameless.
Well...
Because really, the only one I was like, do I want to keep playing this? I don't think so.
Playing
It was
what?
Nameless, and I wasn't even playing it.
Oh, Nameless?
Yeah.
Well... yeah, I... Lovers of Ether. What's that? I'm gonna look it up.
I don't know that one.
I'm gonna look it up.
I am too. Holy,
Oh,
it's
it's
free.
free.
Books, features, less words than War and Peace.
Set in the world of Rivals of Ether.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh dear. Want to hear one of my dark and disturbing poems? That's in one of the screenshots. It would probably help if I was at all familiar with the game that they're
Every
referencing.
character is some kind of animal. Someone told me that is an important feature for a dating game, but I have no idea why.
Who or where? What? So you want to play Dandelion?
I was gonna be like, I don't even know how I want to respond to that, because yes, they're all animals, but...
I mean, in Dandelion, they turn into people.
yes.
They just retain, like, animal ears.
Learn about all the drama that went down last night at the Ding Dong Tree. Who would you believe? Wait, calm, relaxing gameplay. Unlike in a fighting game, no one is out to destroy you and make you wish you never picked up a controller.
So we have a high school filled with animals.
That don't want to destroy you. That's important. Because if they want to destroy you, that's a fighting game.
An amazing soundtrack that will remind you of the fighting game with these characters, so maybe you'll buy that game for all your friends after playing this game. Hey, we killed half the minutes already.
See, you're doing such a good job. Continue.
The reviews. The first one. Recommended. Does this make me a furry? The next one. Not recommended. I got dumped by a guy who has rocks in his bags. There is no God. There's another review that's just recommended. I can explain. That's it. They don't explain, but they can.
Can you though?
Another review. Recommended. Good game. I am not a furry. Please don't consider me one. But regardless, good game.
I've heard of Rivals of Aether, like, once, and then, like, everyone started talking about, like, Brawlhalla instead.
Oh, yeah, that. Yeah, I feel like I vaguely remember hearing about Rivals of Aether at some point, but, not much.
I probably have seen a little bit of gameplay of it.
Anyway, that one's free, so I guess you'll be controlling it, Sharky.
What? So we're gonna blue screen every 5 minutes? Got it.
I mean, I assume that this game will be less taxing than Spyro on your computer.
That's what you think.
Do I need to send you a fan?
Yesterday, I was playing a game on the PS4. I had a YouTube video up. For the background, my computer froze.
So do I need to buy you a fan?
No, I have a fan
literally
going on
USB
it.
fan so that your computer cools off and also warms up at the same time. What were you saying about needing a new computer?
But I don't want to spend money on parts.
It was big when they made the mistake of adding mod support.
Yeah, that's a double-edged sword. Because adding mod support makes the game very popular. Bad things happen.
Anyway, so Sharky, you'll be hosting when we do Lovers of Aether, right?
So does that mean I'm dating all the animals?
Yep.
Good game. I'm not a furry. I can explain.
Can't wait for you to get called out by the guy who 100%ed, what was it, Honeycam Studio?
Right, he did. And he was just like, I just cheated for it, and we're like,
Ronald McDonald became the most overpowered character.
What?
Oh my. Oh dear.
So we got. As long as it's not the KFC dating, as long as it's not a KFC dating character that's most powerful.
Yeah, I retweeted that Twitter thing with the, was it Project Pizarro Deep Dish or something?
No, I refuse. You can get somebody else to do that with you.
Oh, I don't want to play that one in the first place.
Good.
But not only was it Project Pizarro Deep Dish, it was a clown dating sim. Maybe
Yeah, no,
Ronald
it's not
McDonald would
happening.
make a guest appearance there.
It's not happening.
Who would you rather date? KFC Colonel or Ronald McDonald?
Whatever the-
Well,
The Burger King.
he's creepy.
And the clown isn't. And an old man who talks about his 11 herbs and spices isn't. You know.
The crack in the pot that's definitely going into his chicken.
Exactly.
Okay, but the Burger King
Look,
doesn't
I
blink.
suffered through sneaking, alright?
Huh?
I suffered through sneaking. If you know what that
Applebee's
game
logo.
is.
Alright, so Medic is going to date an apple. And
He's
I
a
guess
kid.
you're gonna date Burger King.
Maybe I'll get rich.
Uh-huh.
Who would you date?
I feel like the funny part of this is the fact that you were given the options of the Colonel or Ronald McDonald, and you went with a completely different fast food chain, but you didn't go with Wendy's.
No, that's kind of weird for me.
Huh?
That would feel kind of weird.
She must be old enough by now.
Oh, the real person who...
That she's named at.
Based on super old.
Yeah.
The character still looks super young.
I mean...
Feel creepy.
I guess.
Sounds kind of straight, not gonna lie. Okay, but also, like...
Yeah, but I mean, between a soulless king who doesn't blink, a clown, and
an old man who sells crack on top of, a chicken.
like, at that point you might want to go straight. Let's see, what are the other fast food chains?
Little Caesars has the Little, Caesar.
I can't date Papa John, he's racist.
Yeah, you can't date Papa John. What is someone... Arby's is just a hat.
Great, sounds perfect.
You gonna be a cowboy?
Huh?
You gonna be a cowboy? Or a cowgirl?
No, I just want the hat.
And it's also funny that you're like, why didn't you choose Wendy's? It's like, that's the straight answer, and I'm just like, well, I am one of the two of us, like, who would date a woman. But that still feels weird.
Because she's a girl, not a woman.
But she's extremely young. Yes.
Well, apparently Hyune is 16, so...
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
Oh, we're almost there. We're almost dead.
We're almost gonna die!
I'm so excited.
We're gonna die! I think it says we're gonna die. If you remember that.
Are you making a reference all the way back to Dream Daddy?
Yes! Yes, I am!
You're breaking up pretty badly, by the way. Just like Hyune.
I am making a reference to Dream Daddy. What you gonna do about it?
Laugh.
Good, laugh at me like you should.
Oh. Oh, it just... Reconnection failed.
Aww.
Didn't... No boom. Oh.
No boom!
I know.
Where's the kaboom?
It's
I thought there was
tragic.
gonna be a ship-shattering kaboom!
I wanted a boom.
Oh, do you not get that reference?
Huh?
Do you not get that reference?
Nope.
That was,
She has not watched jack shit because one, as the thing got hotter, she like completely gets like obliterated. She didn't know what the fuck's happening. And two, she can only communicate with us via like the buttons. So
yes, that was a Looney Tunes reference!
oh. Well,
Marvin the Mars Chain, he goes, where's the kaboom? Where's the earth-shattering kaboom? And so I changed it to where it's the ship shattering diploma. Should we disable Hune and then? I say disable Hune, copy her to core 1. Well, you might want to disable. Oh, okay.
I'm not wasting my time on all the other stuff first. Obviously, I'm going to do the important ones first.
Well, it all has to happen.
Yeah, but still. Why isn't this like a real computer where I could just hit up?
Don't you have to enable life support?
Hmm?
Don't you have to enable life support?
Not yet. And we're at
24.
yeah. Oh wait, multiple system. Okay, well that would have been nice to realize earlier. Anyway.
Oh no!
How does this work again?
It is part. It's
Source to
yeah,
target.
Yeah. Do we
Do
have to disable it first? Do we disable it first?
I mean, I was gonna say, why are we disabling core 2 if we could just copy core 1 over right now?
Disable AI.
Why would we
Then
do
copy it
that?
over to core 1.
Why? That means we'd have to talk to Mute after this. You know that, right? Well, I mean, more to the point, why would we not copy Mute to core 2 when we're currently talking to Hune? What are the things right now? Oh. Alright, well, we'll just do this part first.
Yeah. Murder everyone!
I already did. But I wonder, like... Well, that's annoying. Oh well. Oh, I was just thinking, like, now that it's cooled down, can we enable the reactor back? But I guess the answer is no.
I think you tried that last time.
I don't think I did. Anyway. Oh well.
You did it! You did it! The nuclear reactor is now both completely deactivated and at a safe temperature. Safe! I was pretty scared there for a moment. I mean, it's not that I didn't think you could. It's just, the thought of actually dying for good was scary. It was scary.
She only did that to everyone on the ship, but you know, for herself. Scary.
Shh, we don't know that yet. But you did it, and I'm fine now.
Well, we kind of do, because Mute called her a murderess.
Thank you so much. I'm sure you're breathing a little easier too, right? Well, that was close. I think, we both really deserve a break from the serious business. Don't you agree? I thought so. Really, my word, that was a really close call. There's actually something I've been thinking about for a while that I wanted to ask you about. And, well, I had sensors working before. I've seen your ship. I know it's only big enough for one person. It sounds awfully remarkable that you could have a ship like that just for yourself. I just mean, in my time, we were using generation ships. That was incredibly state-of-the-art. But that, combined with the fact that you say there are no colonies, we totally said there were colonies. I can't even wrap my mind around that. I can't even imagine. So, is that normal? Do you do this all the time? Go on strange adventures by yourself in deep space?
I mean, according to the thing, yeah, that's our fucking job, so yes.
Yeah. Wow, that's really amazing. Remarkable, really. See, when I found out that I was going to get put into stasis, to wake up far later, that was the future I always dreamed about. One that was full of amazing things like, I don't know, holograms, miracle medicine, ships that travel faster than light, colonies on other planets. That's sort of amazing. That's sort of amazing. I mean, I've never liked science fiction, just too unrealistic. But when I was a kid, I figured it'd still be fun to live in it. Imagine my surprise. But it sure sounds like you're from that future. Oh, sorry. I'm rambling, aren't I?
Yep.
It's just the idea of finally getting that perfect future that I was denied, traveling with someone in deep space, well, that sounds awfully romantic.
So about AIs hitting on us.
Are these AIs hitting on us?
No, just
Sorry,
her.
I'll stop now. Let's get back to the serious business. My murdererness.
Murderousness.
So we wanna... It's not like I ever thought as a child I would never marry. You tell me though, could you marry someone you'd only ever talked to once? Of course not! What are you talking about? No! Well, then maybe you shouldn't be judging me for it. It's not like it's my fault. We both read the same logs. Wasn't the only person on the ship to be crushed by a horrible marriage. The two older Kim sisters, you should read their letters. Here, I'll show you. They had it just as bad. It's really unfair question to ask. we're gonna go and open up more questions, right?
Yep. That's
That's like how you doing?
Yep.
A little anxious. Glad to have someone to talk to. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad to have somebody that I can hit on. But I'm really not sure how to read you. You keep swinging in different directions. Can't you please just trust me?
Nope. We can't.
I'm not unhappy, but I'd feel a lot better if you could do that.
Well, all the people you killed would feel a lot better if they were, not killed.
If you say you're sorry about being so mistrustful, I'd understand.
That sounds like an abuse tactic.
Is it?
Well, to twist it around of like, oh, you don't trust me. If you say you're sorry for mistrusting me, I'd understand. But you have to apologize to me, but we didn't do anything wrong.
Did we even mistrust her? What did we say?
She's just interpreted that we're swinging back and forth and we're not straight up just trusting her only and then demanding that we apologize for not just trusting her and no one else. She's upset that we ever trusted anything from Mute.
But we didn't even talk to Mute!
I mean, we kind of did. Briefly.
Other than said, hi, I'm a dude, thanks, bye.
Yeah, but Hyuna is mad at us for, 1, talking to Mute at all, and 2, for not saying, oh, Mute's crazy and we won't listen to her. We promise to only listen to you. And now she's demanding we apologize for that. We didn't do anything wrong.
Comment.
Therefore, I would say this is an abuse tactic.
Comment.
I'm not sorry.
Comment.
You certainly seem to have a lot of comments. Do you want to share with the class?
Do you already know the comments?
Do you want to share with the class, Sharky?
If we continue streaming for 4 years, then maybe.
No, but given the explanation, do you disagree with me?
No, I don't.
She got mad at us for talking to Mute. She demanded we not listen to Mute. We said, no, we will not only listen to you, we will hear out Mute. We're not gonna just ignore everything that Mute says. She accused us of swinging back and forth and of mistrusting her. And then, before we can even respond to that, says, if you say you're sorry about being so mistrustful, I'd understand. And now we're given options to only apologize or not apologize.
Screw you.
Sorry, Hyuna.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Sucks to be alone, but I'm sure wondering why I'm bothering something to you right now.
Because you're an AI, so you don't have a ton of choice. It doesn't even stick. I'm gonna say the same thing over again. So what's 3?
2?
Hmm?
We're skipping 2?
Yeah, we're going straight to AO3.
Wow. Were you making a joke there?
Never. I never make jokes.
What? You saved her life. Isn't she dead to you? No. She's a murderer. What do you expect? Jeez, my word. What are you talking about? When have I ever not treated you with respect? I don't know what's wrong with that awful AI. And I definitely don't know what's wrong with you. Why would you even say something like that? Jeez.
Well, she's got something to say. Should I click it?
What's 5? Isn't that the one question you're never supposed to ask a woman?
Oh, Medic wants me to click it. Now I guess I'll have to wait until after I get to the thing again.
Jeez, so rude. Well, I was born in the year 2415, and I was put into stasis for I don't know how long. I lived for another 3 years and died about 622 years ago at the age of 16.
Yes, by your own hand, actually.
So, you tell me how old I am. I don't know. Really, I don't think it really matters at this point, does it?
Alright, Hyuna, what do you want to say?
Hi. Actually, I was just testing that indicator icon to see if it would get your attention.
Because you skipped ahead so much and ignored it before.
I just thought it'd be a good way of letting you know when I have something to say. I mean, like, if I think it's super important, I can always just interrupt you, like when you're about to explode. But I don't want to distract you if I can help it. I mean, that'd suck, right? What kind of computer program forces herself onto you right in the middle of you trying to work? Yeah, I'll try not to do that.
She'll try not to force herself onto you.
Hey.
Hey?
Just because you try doesn't mean she won't do everything she can to force herself onto us in the worst ways possible. Anyway, that's all. Guess it worked. Carry on, and I'll set that indicator again if I want to tell you something. So we did 1, 3, 5, 7. Obviously, there's only one correct answer.
What, 9?
Yes.
Oh man!
Why did you kill everyone? Look, there's something you need to understand first. After waking up from stasis, I only ever had one single friend. Oh, 2, I meant. Now that you're here, anyway, before it was just her. The Queen, my husband's wife, Liu J. Pop. I wrote about her a lot in my diary. I'll just show you. It's probably better if you read it for yourself. Wait. She had one friend, her husband's wife, who didn't like her.
At first, and then she felt sorry for her. Remember?
No, I actually don't remember.
Oh my god, well that's your problem.
These are from right after I got married.
Also, I'm
2,
hungry,
4,
so I'm
6, 8.
gonna be right back.
Where are we going?
I'm gonna get a snack, because I'm hungry. Ooh.
These are new.
These do appear to be new. See, it says new.
Oh my god. I'm gonna smack you.
That's not social distancing. You have to stay at least 6 feet from me.
I'm gonna smack you with a 35.5-foot pole. Is that social distancing enough? I guess I'm alone now.
Now I have a snack.
You made Medic hungry. I hope you're happy.
I'm not happy. But really, how many of us are hungry in this life?
Yes, that was a Grinch reference. I think when you walked away, I said, how about I hit you with a 35.5-foot pole? Is that social distancing enough for you?
Well, you see, if you've touched the pole, then it's not social distancing. So.
Well, how else am I gonna hit you with it? I have to be holding one end of it to hit you with it. At least somebody's getting my references. My terrible, terrible references. So. What now?
Do you want to read it? Should I read it?
I guess I should read it, since you've read already. Is that Sunhee?
Sunhee. From
Sunhee.
Yunmi.
I'm guessing this is a guy?
Pretty sure they're both women.
Oh. But didn't we... Okay. Wasn't there a rule that, like, if a woman... Letters from women to women get deleted after the read?
Okay, but that's supposed to be like most of the time. It wasn't like an automatic process.
Fair. Dear Sunhee, I wish we'd had more of a chance to talk before I left. I'm sorry it was so sudden. Not my choice. Please believe me. It's really weird living in someone else's house. Even just, like, the place itself, you know? The walls of the house are way smaller. There aren't even separate women's quarters. It's pretty much just a paper divider separating us from the men most of the time. We can see and hear everything. It's so very weird.
You know what just occurred to me?
That you need to get more references?
No. Because that's not true. No. The, when we copied the stuff over to Core 2, we got mute. But when we then disabled Core 1, it said Core empty.
It said what? You cut out.
When we disabled Core 1, now in the power list, it says it's like empty.
That's not copy, that's move.
Unless it wipes it when it disables. So now I'm like, wait, shit. Does it wipe it when it disables?
Well, we have the data.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. I mean, we copied it over, so... Hit next. Type the word next. And there's a lot more to do around the house. We thought Mom was strict. Wow. Mother-in-law makes her seem positively gentle in comparison. I know. I'll just have to get used to it. But she kind of scares me. Plus, we don't have any servants here at all. I have to handle pretty much all the chores. I'll try to write to you regularly, though. So long as I can find the time. Mother-in-law keeps me pretty busy during the day with housework. My husband keeps me pretty busy during the night with other work. It's pretty much chores all day, every day. But I'll try to sneak in another letter soon, alright? With love from your older sister.
You and me.
You and me.
Here's the guide again. Maybe it's Unmi? But I'm pretty sure that would be red as yin. Eh.
It looks like it would be Un. By those
Maybe
rules.
it's Unmi.
Hmm?
Maybe it's Unmi.
Next letter?
Hmm. Ooh, then there's 2 in a row.
Whoa, no, well they're not in a row. They're 3 years apart.
But still.
Looks like Unmi didn't respond.
Dear Unmi, I wish you could have found the time sooner, but if you say you're busy, fine. I believe you. Things aren't very interesting at home. Mom's been really busy lately. I think she's in a big hurry to get me married. I wish she wasn't. How come you didn't have to do interviews until you were 14? Lucky. One of them seems nice, though. I think the man's name was O. I talked to his mother about you for a little bit. Don't remember what brought it up, but I told her about the dolls you left me. The second interview we did, she brought me one of hers from when she was my age and said I could keep it. Interviews suck, but I think I'd be fine with marrying her son. I mean, if I really have to. She sounds better than your stupid mother-in-law. Love, Sunhee. Ah. Maybe it just deleted the letters in between. Maybe they just forgot to delete these ones, but did delete the ones in between.
Yeah, maybe.
Dear Unmi, thanks for being able to come to my wedding, even if it was just for a day. Don't worry about what Mom said about you not having kids yet. You shouldn't take that personally. I was really happy to see you again, since I wasn't sure if I ever would. I love you, big sister. I'm sorry for bothering you with this so soon after we spoke, but I really need you to answer something for me. I don't have anyone else to ask, and I'm really, 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 really worried about something. It's really embarrassing, but I just have to know. The night I moved in, my husband and I slept together. I'm not ignorant about how that's supposed to work. I know why. Afterwards, my husband said that everything was fine and that I shouldn't worry, but it really hurt a lot. I was crying the whole time and he injured me so much there was blood everywhere. I know I'm not supposed to question him, but that's not normal, right? Should I insist on seeing a doctor? He seems nice besides that, so I just don't understand. What should I do, big sister? Love, Sunhee. Yeah?
I know my knowledge of that area is not well, but I don't think that's how it's supposed to be.
I mean, technically, the first time, it's not uncommon for there to be blood. I'm not sure how much, but I feel like I've heard it described as like everywhere, or at least like people have freaked out over it. It shouldn't hurt a lot, but this wasn't really a society that cared about women's pleasure. Also, I'm not sure. Maybe it can also hurt the first time. Or maybe the partner just doesn't care about the woman's pleasure and really should have. Welcome back, medic.
Wait. Started off for like 10 minutes there, and then right back into painful sex. What?
Well, like, I know in high school, one of my friends had gotten a text from some other girl freaking out, like, because she bled on her first time. But that's not uncommon, actually.
Like I said, I know I don't know much about this area because, you know, Christian school upbringing.
And the fact that you're a guy.
And the fact that I'm a guy. I was just talking with my best friend recently about how, for both of us, our parents were like, yeah, like the school will teach you everything you need to know. And the school went, yeah, your parents will teach you everything you need to know.
No, your school and your parents went, you don't need to know anything. Also, one sec, my cat is howling. And it's not even Mog this time.
What?
I said, one sec, my cat is howling, and it's not even Mog this time.
Oh, wow. A good point to zone back in, Medic. The thing is, zoning out with this game, you'll get very weird, like, bits of information when you decide to zone back in, or when you manage to zone back in. Depending on how you're zoning out.
Okay, I'm back. What I miss?
I vanished into thin air. I am a disembodied voice of a shark.
I guess you better get your body back, because your boss is going to be really confused when your body doesn't show up to work.
They'll understand.
I don't know if payroll will understand, though.
If I'm a voice, I don't need to get paid.
Wow, I walked back into my room, and Katesith is howling again.
It just doesn't want you in your room. Brain's not processing.
I'm back again.
Is your cat howling yet?
Is
your cat howling yet?
Well, when I stepped out, Mog followed me, but Mog looked as confused as I was. So, Katesith and Mog are both in my room now.
So which one are we going to show her? One, two, or Medic being confused?
I don't think this was the one where Medic was confused.
No,
this is
the
1 and
last
2.
one was where Medic was confused.
So what you should have said was 1, 1, or the one where Medic was confused.
Position 1 and position 2.
That's not how it works.
First on the list, second on the list would be 1 and 2.
This says 1, and this says 1. The bleedy one, obviously. Okay.
The bleedy one.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be more specific. There's a lot of ones that end up with blood.
What?
Yeah, you should finish the rest first. You can see for yourself how things turned out. Like the one last time, where there was a lot of blood. It tasted like metal, though.
Huh.
Wait, where are the rest of them?
Oh, wait. There's other stuff.
Did we see this before? No, we didn't. Dear Diary, I guess it's been forever since I cared enough to write anything down. I just haven't seen much point. Since my last entry, we got married, moved into the palace, and lost my virginity. Apparently, for a girl my age, none of these things are really all that weird. The Queen finally insisted on talking to me the night after I first slept with dearest husband. I'd been expecting it. My sister warned me that she would probably be jealous and... Oh crap, it's 5 pages. I just have to endure it. She outranks me, and I would simply have to... Kowtow.
Yes, we went over this last time.
Also,
I think the next one is also by the Pale Bride, so...
It is.
Have fun!
To her, if need be. I haven't had to yet, though. We had tea together, and she at least has started by acting friendly. I'm sure sister was right. I'll get the brunt of her anger soon enough. But today, she was friendly. How are you holding up? She asked me, after we finished with tea. I shrugged. Do trust me, I know how hard it can be for a newlywed. I've been through it myself, but I was at least older. You probably miss your family, do you not? That's what would be expected from any good girl, so I nodded. Gets easier with time. I had no response. I'm sorry, am I bothering you? You can leave if you wish. Simply thought you might like some company. I wasn't sure how to respond to that either. I just clasped my hands and shook my head. I just wanted to be sure, she said. There's a long pause that followed. Finally, she asked, how was last night? It surprised me that she was willing to bring up the subject, fearing that it was a segue into her being vindictive.
Oh, by the way, Medic, the trauma that we are referencing from last time is that they literally, cut out her vocal cords. The family that gave her to be married. So she's mute, and that's why she's also not saying anything in this scene. She also literally can't. She's just nodding and shrugging.
Toward me for sleeping with her husband. I shrugged as she continued. I just know he can be rough. Nobody ever talked about those duties with me. Then she smiled, and I felt almost like I could drop my guard. I had no idea what to expect my first time. Do believe me, I'm not jealous. That is nothing to be jealous of. But do tell me how it was. Maybe think back on last night. Honestly, it's the best night I've ever had since waking up in the future. Everyone, my mother, my sister, and now my queen. Yeah, I read it and I almost broke out crying during reading it.
Yeah, it was intense. That was an
We
intense one.
ended on that,
Yeah,
too.
we did.
And then my queen warned me that it would be bad, be a duty and nothing more. I honestly did love it. Would have let him keep me up all night if he had the energy for it. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I guess while I was thinking about that, I let out a slight smile. I caught myself, but not before she noticed. Oh, did you enjoy it then? She asked, touching my arm. I jumped. Please, please, be at ease. That is perfectly alright too. As long as you know it's just for him. There's absolutely no shame in that. There is none. I expected her to jump into something passive aggressive from that, but she didn't. All she did was change the subject and said that she really was worried about me. Maybe she isn't so bad.
Great. So glad we got to hear about how much she enjoyed sex.
Yeah, no, literally, we ended that basically being like,
Oh yes,
so
that's her
the murder
explanation
makes
as to why she
sense,
did
it's
it.
understandable to some degree.
And that's why when we started up today, she was like, I want to come with you.
Dear Diary, attending to my husband has been easier than I was afraid it would be. Yes, there's days when it requires more strength than usual to keep going. I'm still getting increasingly more sick. Nothing will change that. But it's not so bad, really. All I have to do is dote on him and try to anticipate his desires. He's happy with me. No abuse or anything. 'Cause you know. No abuse. Perfect man.
Well, after
Sure.
she'd spent like 3 years with an extremely abusive family.
Sure, it's not as if I like him. He's an ugly 40-year-old man who cares only about politics and never tells me anything. Love, well, that's certainly no concern. I don't know where I ever got the impression that was something that could happen in a marriage. I thought it was something from the past, but, well, I was young before I got put in stasis. Must have been a mistake of childhood. But so long as I do as I'm told, I'm not mistreated like I was by my sister. And sleeping with him feels good. I really hope I don't get pregnant soon. Don't want that to stop. Doing that is really the only thing that makes me actually happy these days. Well, that and Jaehwa's talks with me. She's nice. She keeps me company when I stay up to wait for his return. She fetches servants to take me to bed on those days I'm too feverish to sit for too long. And she just talks to me as if I'm a friend. I don't really understand why, but I guess she really doesn't hate me after all. Do let me tell you, she said one evening while she brushed my hair. I always wanted a little sister growing up, and that's how I think of you. Does that make sense? I shrugged. It was nice of her, and it felt so relaxing to let her touch my hair like that. She wasn't waiting for a response anyway. By now, she knows better. She just keeps talking kindly to me. Just One of the only things that keeps her happy, sex.
Sounds like a really sad life.
Sounds like an extremely sad life. But I mean, when you went through what she went through...
Yeah, but she's out of that situation now. And apparently still the only thing that brings her any joy is sex. So, that feels sad. Like, not that she's wrong for it, but just that it's sad.
I mean, still trying to... Getting away from the trauma is still very fresh, so... Hard to be happy. Because I mean, like, what, the last one was, what, like 312 or 317 or something like that? And the drastic measures happened, like, what, 37? So it's been a few months?
Yeah, but like...
Get her a therapist, please. That would require a lot.
That would require that they have therapy on board.
Yeah. I know, you can be your therapist. Because that would go well.
I keep telling you and other people, I'm not a therapist.
I said mute.
Who I voiced, so. I keep telling you and other people, I'm not a therapist.
But I wasn't talking about you! For Pete's sake.
Pretty sure Mute doesn't know what therapy is.
No, I don't think so either.
Pretty sure she would just tell her to shut up and do her wifely duties.
Well, she's enjoying those wifely duties, apparently.
Some of them, apparently.
I mean, I don't expect her to enjoy doting on the guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, want to show this door?
Hmm?
Said, want to show this door?
I mean, I kind of want to show this to Mute, but that sounds like a lot of effort right now.
So, you can see, she was kind. She was good to me. She really was. I take it you want to know more about my marriage, then? What are you interested in? Yes. Then you're in luck. She's in all these entries. Well, she's really the only thing in my life worth writing about, for the most part. Except for the last two and the sex you wrote about, you know. There's one in that there that she wrote herself about our husband, and you can see for yourself, she was a lot stronger than I ever was. So you can see for yourself why I admired her. And, well, just read them, alright? I'm sorry. Not really ready to talk about him. Not beyond what I wrote in my diary. It's just too hard. Especially not to someone like you.
Like us.
That's just too vulnerable, right? I really can't. He never... It's not as if we had conversations. You think our relationship is one-sided? You have no idea.
I think she means, you think our relationship here between us and her?
Anyway, here. I can give you some more. There's an entry from Jaehua in there. She did talk to him. She was, well, a lot stronger than I ever was. So, read it and stop talking to me, you jerk.
Oh my.
Wait. Whoa. Whoa! That's a giant jump in stuff!
Mm-hmm. Now I wonder.
Oh, if we can show the other stuff.
What was it? Block 1?
Yeah, it was block 1. Letter 2 we were trying to show. So far, sounds good, right? Things fell apart between them with time, though. Here, see for yourself.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
Should have done that from the beginning.
Which one do you want to go to?
I feel like, given the titles of the last one, I kind of want to read this set just to build up the suspense. Just to put off the oh shit stuff.
The suspense worked so well last time. The suspense worked so well last time.
It was a great place to end.
It was a sad place to end.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to be sad again? Do you want me to be leaving the stream in tears every time? She's not saying yes or no. Dear Sunhee, no, you don't need to see a doctor. I'm sorry to be the bringer of bad news, little sister, but I'm afraid your husband's right. That really is normal. Don't worry about freaking out either. You're a lot younger than I was when I got married, so it's probably even worse for you. So sorry. It gets a little easier after the first time. Still uncomfortable, though. Just have to endure it. That never changes. I'm sorry. Don't worry about the crying either. And actually find that to be attractive, so just keep
Oh god.
doing it and you'll probably make him happy. If you're lucky though, you'll get pregnant quickly and won't have to worry about any of that for months.
Women. Baby factories, apparently?
That aside though, how have you been? How's your new family? Haven't heard much about them. I kept trying to ask Mom to tell me about your husband. All I got was that lecture about how he was nearly 3 years old when she'd been married for as long as I had. No, that is not attractive! As if I'm not trying. So do tell me more about him and his family, please, Sunhee. I'd love to know. With love from your older sister, Unmi. Crying bad.
Generally, yeah. Yeah.
Also, very, going from the last letter, where it was like, yeah, like, the sex is all I ever have, like, happiness in, to, don't worry, just cry through it, he'll be happy. What? Dear Sunhee, I said in my last letter that I was pregnant, and thanks for the congratulations, but I hope you didn't rush to tell Mom. You'll have to send her the bad news. It was a false alarm, I'm afraid. I bled this month. I hope you're doing better, little sister. Your child is due any day, right? Love, Unmi. Well, that was sad. Are you good?
Oh, I'm like, it's only sad in the sense that she doesn't want to keep having sex, but because she's not actually pregnant, she has to go back to having sex.
Well, also, my brain went to, crap, if the mother got told that's gonna be a talking. You can see how I grow up.
Dear me, I wish I could have written you sooner, but I'm afraid I haven't had the time, what with having a real pregnancy and all to worry about.
Ooh.
Mother-in-law insisted that I take the time to write to my family, though, so I just finished a letter to Mom first. Sorry about your false alarm. I did tell Mom, and she wasn't very happy to hear it. I'm sure you're not really surprised by that, though. The good news, I gave birth 2 weeks ago. Her name is Jean, and she's the cutest little child you'll ever see. She reminds me a lot of our little brother, although she has her father's eyes, really. I really wish you could meet her. I just know you'd think she's absolutely adorable. So I'm a mother now. I still can't think of myself that way. It's so weird. Right now she's just so small she can't even lift her head, but every time I look at her eyes, I wonder how I'm going to be able to raise her. Mother-in-law says I shouldn't worry. It'll come naturally, and she'll be there to help. I guess that's true. I definitely don't know what I'd do without her. At the very least, I sure wouldn't ever get any sleep. It's just scary, you know? Wasn't it just yesterday that we were playing together in our father's house? Now it's been nearly 16 years since I was born. I'm a wife and a mother. How did we get so old? I mean, it could be worse. I know that's a good age for both of those things, and that it's really disappointing if you're older and haven't managed that. I have it good. It's just odd to think about. I'm not complaining, and oh, when you're a mother, you'll understand why, big sister. I just love her so much. She means everything to me. Anyway, I'll stop rambling. I think Jean is crying to be fed now, and mother-in-law can't help with that, so I'll leave it there. Take care, sister. Love, Suni.
So passive-aggressive.
You want to trade between the two sisters?
No.
I'm having to read some doting motherly shit.
But you got the passive-aggressive down real well.
So many red flags in the past 5 minutes.
Sorry, we're not playing the game Red Flags. That's a different game.
That is a game.
But yes, there's a lot of red flags. Dear Suni, well, maybe you could use a little more caution in what you send to Mom, because it's not like you don't know how annoyed she can get, especially at me. There's a reason you're the only one she actually talks to. I'm trying, you know? But I can only do so much. Congratulations on your daughter. I'm really excited to hear about that. Yeah, it's a shame that I can't see her. She sounds wonderful. Don't really have much else to say. I just wanted to acknowledge your letter. Things haven't really been worth talking about. My mother-in-law is still a crazy tyrant. My husband and I are still trying to have a son. Nothing new, nothing worth mentioning. I'm glad things are going much better for you. With regards, me.
Dear me, how long's it been since we last wrote each other? Feels like it's been forever. I wish you wouldn't be such a stranger. I have a 2-year-old son now. His name is Taekun, and he takes after his father in a lot of ways. He's just started to learn to talk now, much earlier than Ji-in did, no surprise. But Ji-in is a real sweetheart. She's what reminded me of you. The two of them had fought, so I was scolding her. I told her that I was disappointed, that I expected better from her as an older sister. I gave her the whole filial responsibility speech, you know, the one that Mom always used to give. It's funny, I hated that so much as a kid. I promised myself I'd never guilt my own children that way. Now I just think to myself, well, it worked, didn't it? Anyway, she asked me what it meant to be an older sister. I had trouble with that one. Finally, I said, it means you should be a good role model. Teach your little brother what it means to be responsible by example. Show him. That was a good enough answer for her, but I thought about it, and it's not a good enough answer for me. Not at all. It's you that I've been thinking of, and, you know, I turned out okay. I wish I could take back what I said and tell Ji-in what I'm going to tell you. You don't have to be perfect. You're not a good role model, but that's fine. I love you anyway, big sister, and I always will. Even if everyone is disappointed in you, even if you're not really family anymore, as far as I'm concerned, you're still my big sister. You don't have to be perfect. I love you, period. Please write back, sister. Even if you don't have good news to report, I just want to hear how you are. Love, Sunhee.
So what's the last letter? And when's the last letter? Because there's one more that we never sent. I'm gonna warn you now, though. It's really intense. Are you sure you want to read it?
Man, apparently you get all the intense shit.
Yeah, what's with my life and the intense crap?
I want to read the lady who actually doesn't want all of this.
Very well, there you are. It's been added.
I asked if we could trade.
Don't say I didn't warn you, though. Okay, I guess, warning for intense stuff here to medic?
Some kind of content warning, trigger warning, but we don't know what for.
It could be for a lot of things, which is sad. And this is 3 days later.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, joy. Dear Sunhee, you know what? Fine. I'll tell you the truth. The false alarm, it wasn't a false alarm. I didn't lie about the bleeding. That was true. But I really was pregnant at the time. Word that I let on in my letter, as in morning sickness, giant belly, you could see it. I was really pregnant and bleeding. My husband brought in the doctor immediately, who asked me all sorts of questions about everything. I was fine, perfect health, no injuries, I told him. So he pulled out his instruments and started listening for my son's heartbeat. And listened, and listened, and listened. Felt like forever. Then he kept trying, and I couldn't understand why he couldn't find something. You just had to be there. The obvious never occurred to me. He had to explain it. I'm sorry, the doctor said. There's no heartbeat. The fetus is dead. Couldn't do anything about it. It took a week for the actual miscarriage to happen. It was the worst week of my life. It was hellish. We've had 2 children. I'm sure you know that wonderful feeling you get when you realize you're a child. That you know that you're going to have a baby. You can feel him inside you. Imagine what he's going to look like and what he'll grow up to be. That right now, he's depending on you more than he ever will to keep him safe. You know the feeling, I'm sure. Just the day before, I'd been so happy I was going to finally have a child. After I find out, I could still feel him, dead, but still inside me, sloshing around. The day before, I thought I was filled with beautiful life, but I was actually filled with death. I would have no son. What I was carrying was just a corpse weighing me down. I thought I'd feel better once I expelled it, but then I saw it, this awful bloody mess. That should have been a son. It was awful, so awful. After I saw it, my husband had to force me to wash myself because holy crap, this is 6 pages.
Yes.
All I wanted to do was crawl into my bed and die.
You just noticed?
Yes. Because I was reading it, I wasn't actually looking at the page count. I didn't get out of bed for a whole month after that, save for a brief hour so I could write to you and tell you that I wasn't pregnant. Eventually, I recovered, realized it wasn't really my fault. Eventually, we started trying again. After all, what you, mom, and mother-in-law have all been implying is right. Be a lousy wife if, after 8 years of marriage, I still hadn't had a child. So we tried, and I did eventually get pregnant. Then it happened again. That was half a year ago. You're right, not perfect. As broken as it gets. The one most important thing in the world for a woman to do, and I can't. You've been pregnant twice, and you now have 2 wonderful children that you love. I've been pregnant twice. All that's happened is I've killed both of them. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why. Doctor says I didn't do anything wrong, but clearly I can't bring life into this world. The only thing I can bring is death, little sister. Today, I overheard my husband talking to my mother-in-law about considering taking on a second wife to actually give him a child. You sounded really disappointed in me. I don't know what to do. Kill myself, maybe, since killing seems to be all I can do. Be better for everyone. Be easier on my husband. He wouldn't have to worry about me being a disappointment at least. It's the only thing I can think of. What else could I possibly do on me? Wow! Yeah, I get the really intense stuff.
I offered for you to trade, and you said no. This is your doing.
I know. What does she want to say? I don't know about you, but I had a really hard time reading that the first time. Can you imagine that? It's even as if I knew her. I didn't even know either existed when I was alive. I mean, sure, their mother mentioned that she'd had daughters before in a sort of abstract way. But she never told me so much as their names, let alone, well, anything. Anyway, none of that was my original point. My point was, now do you see what I mean? When Mute talks about a happy marriage, that's what she's talking about.
Oh, that's what this is from. Some random other people.
What she's talking about is really painful sex and miscarriages?
Well, not just miscarriages, but miscarriages in a society that only values women as baby carriages.
That will lead the person to kill themselves.
I mean, yeah, miscarriages are supposed to be really emotionally taxing.
Yeah. It's not as if I'm the only woman to have a horrible marriage. It wasn't my fault. That's what happens. That's normal.
Anyway, we'll stop here.
What about the other set? The other trauma?
Well, you know, we're 2.5 hours in, and I'm hungry and just eating these, like, cauliflower fries, and I would like to have an actual dinner, maybe. So, like...
Oh, crap. It's
we're gonna stop here. Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna stop here. Gonna save here. Stop. And we'll pick up the other stuff next time.
We'll pick up more trauma next time.
Yep.
Oh, good.
This is a different Trauma Mama. But it was such a reliable title that it still applies.
It applies too much. Why does it apply so much?
Thanks for coming back, Medic.
Hope you aren't traumatized now.
Hope this stream generally doesn't traumatize you. I don't know, it's hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah, no, we're pretty traumatic.
Yeah, I mean,
And
God.
we play games that
People
are
have to
traumatic.
listen to our voices. Ugh.
We're traumatic, and also the games we play can be traumatic.
Okay, thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye.
I guess Heck never came back. Oh well. Bye-bye. Bye, Heck.
Groceries. They can take a long time when this happens.
I feel like my grocery trips are faster than ever, but that's because I make a grocery list right before.
Yeah, Medic, I'm about to go to bed too. So, right there with
Good night. Sorry about that. Read some wholesome poetry about fluffy animals. Look at cute photos of fluffy
you.
animals.
Fluffy animal?
Okay, bye. Sorry
Bye.
again. Bye.